been a minute. It's been a minute. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Squishmallow video. Yes, I am back. It has been a while to say the least. Obviously I haven't completely disappeared off my channel. I did upload 2 other videos in the last 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, but I'm back. So yes, another Squishmallow video. I don't remember the last time I uploaded one. I believe it must have been for Easter. That is the only thing I can think of. I have uploaded other videos since then, so if you haven't already checked them out, I recommend you go do that. But yeah, it has been a while since I've done one of these. Now, if you watched that video, I did pre-warn you saying that I didn't plan to buy any Squishmallows until September. And I'm filming this on September 1st, so yeah, I have bought a lot of Squishmallows over the summer. Oops, I was not planning to do that. I didn't think there was going to be any out that I wanted, which I was still correct about, but that didn't stop me from buying. I was going to say some, but there's quite a lot. So let's talk about my travels of the last couple months and what I found. So starting off with the works, I found these Hello Kitty and Friends, or like Sanrio clips, and then I also found these, I think, Sea Cow Micro Mystery Capsules too. I think that's what they're called. I also found the Hello Kitty Scented Mystery Squad. Didn't get them because I don't like scented things. And as of editing yesterday, oh, there's my bestie, I found 2 of the Sanrio and Friend, or like Hello Kitty and Friends hoodie squads. Then there's these bags from Home Bargains from like 2 months, not even 2 months ago. I think back from like February or March. Plus these bennies more recently, but oh my god, there's so many. Don't know how much they are, but I think most Home Bargains had those in. Plus B&M got a restock on these 2-packs, which also were reduced in price. I then went to my arcade, or at least one of them near me, and they had a lot of these clips and a lot of like the blacklight ones, and similar to the 2-packs that they had available at B&M in clip form, which I've never seen before. Plus this one, which I'm pretty sure was available in Claire's, and then that one squad that I really like the food squad. I don't know, it was available in Claire's in like the 5 inches, but they now have it in clips here. Plus, can't not mention the McDonald's Happy Meals. Didn't end up getting any of these. Also, some, not all McDonald's, but some had these like added things like craft pack and colouring, and also hats that I tried on. But yeah, I didn't end up getting these because I thought they're a bit naff. But one of the biggest places that I've been having great success with Squishmallows at the moment is Vinted. Yes, I'm mentioning it again. How many visitors has it been in a row now? Yeah, so I went a little crazy and bought a ton of Squishmallows off of Vinted. However, if you're a long-term viewer, you're going to recognize a lot of these as ones off my wish list, which again, I did a whole video on that where I was like, I'm never going to get these. I may or may not have got a lot of them. And I am going to show you. I also got some other ones as well. Not Vinted. I think it's like 2. And then weren't even for me, but we'll get into that. So let me actually show you everything I've bought since I've last done one of these videos. So the first Squishmallow I actually ended up getting was right after I uploaded the Easter Squishmallow video, which again was from Lidl in the middle. On this sale, not only did my mum get a picture of them, she also bought me this pastel rainbow unicorn. And if you've watched some of my videos between then and now, it was in my background for a bit, but it's now not, and I don't have it. I've already been thinking about downsizing my Squishmallow collection at the moment to try and focus really on ones that I desperately want and get more of the impulse buys that I did back in the earlier days of me doing my Squishmallow videos, where I don't have as much love for them or they don't fit my collection as much anymore. So I'm really thinking about downsizing, but I'll probably wait until more of the new year to get around to that. But the reason I don't actually end up having this unicorn anymore is a friend of mine's had a relative's birthday, and it was a unicorn themed birthday, and he's previously got her Squishmallows per my recommendation. She really likes Squishmallows. Well, she prefers them all the Squishalongs, but she was having a unicorn themed birthday, and I just happened to be in the city, and he messaged me saying, "Hey, you're the Squishmallow expert. I need a unicorn Squishmallow. Can you get me one?" And I was like, "Sure." Price range, and he goes, "Nothing too expensive." And I go, "All right." So I go around the city, go look for a unicorn Squishmallow. Could not find one. I did end up finding a Catacorn, which I did buy for him to give to her. That was actually from Claire's. I thought it was pretty cutesy. And then when I got home, I then remembered I had this pastel unicorn, and I thought she'll probably appreciate it more. So I also chucked that in, and apparently she really liked them. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's why I currently do not have this one anymore, and also just mentioning the Catacorn, which again, it wasn't actually my money because he did pay me back for it. But I did buy it. So I'm gonna add it here because why not? Now I want to go into the deep depths of me buying off Vinted. I have had my Vinted account for a while. I mean, since January, I think. And I've only really started selling since April, I want to say. Again, I have a ton of stuff on there, so if you're interested in any of that, please go have a look. Please. But I ended up going down a rabbit hole, I want to say in May, where something clicked in my brain where I was like, oh my god, Squishmallows. Why haven't I looked for them on here? And I started going down a rabbit hole of looking at all these Squishmallows and finding rare ones, older ones that I couldn't get my hands on that I've always wanted, ones that weren't available, and US imports. Yes, so there's a lot of, I think, mentioned in my previous videos where, especially seasonal wise, I go, I love this Squishmallow, I love this Squishmallow, I love this Squishmallow, but I'll never be able to get it because it's a US exclusive, and then I would be sad because I'm not going to pay ridiculous shipping costs to get it over here just in case it magically does come out over here one day. Well, I may not be doing that, but some people on Vinted are. They're either paying the extreme shipping costs or they're going to America themselves and buying them. Either way, they don't want them anymore and they're reselling them on Vinted, and I can get my hands on them for reasonable prices majority of the time. Let's just say my bank account was crying after I discovered this because I finally got a lot of them off my wish list. Now again, I go into more detail on my wish list in this video if you haven't seen that already, or if you're not a long-term viewer, where I have either gone on and on and on about certain Squishmallows, but they had a large selection. I think I'm going to do a separate video just going into the deep depths of Vinted, but there have been some that I really liked and really wanted that I didn't end up getting. Either because they sold before I could get them, or they're too expensive, or I just thought I don't need these as much. Majority of the time they did sell before I could get them. But I don't actually remember what order I got these in because this was a weird thing I did. I want to say beginning of June, or like mid-June I started buying all of these, and I don't remember exactly what order. Well, the order that I ordered them in and the order they turned up are two very different orders. But I am going to show you all of the ones that I got because there is quite a lot. Starting off with one that I've been wanting for almost a year now. Again, it's a Halloween one because I got a lot of seasonal ones. But if you remember last year's Halloween video, was it last year? It was last year. I really wanted a very specific Squishmallow that I could not get because of Tesco's, but I now have it. Now, is it a 5-inch? Yes, and this is actually technically a US import one. The ones over here were 7 inches or 7.5 inches, whatever the average one is here. But I couldn't get my hands on it and I complained about it a lot. But now I have it. Now it is a 5-inch, but that is fine because there's one that came out over here, nowhere to be seen on Vinted. And I went to the deep depths and every corner to try and find it. Could not find it. Since I bought this, I have seen ones in regular 7 inches or 7.5 sizes. But for some reason, they've hiked the price up on them. For no particular reason. Huh? Now this one is a US import and the seller was lovely. Got out to me very quickly. Very much appreciated. I love this one so much. And I'm also happy it's in a 5-inch again, previously mentioned. storage wise and just how big my collection is now. So I do appreciate the smaller ones. And I love the galaxy print on, as I did realise some of the ones that were being sold on Vinted, they had more of like the pink part of the fabric or the very bright blue. And I didn't like how in your face that was, right? So I'm very grateful just that this is more of the darker blue of the fabric. But yeah, it's so gorgeous. I was complaining about it all last year and now I don't have to anymore because I have in fact got it. So very happy about that one. Staying on the topic of Tesco's and their annoying squads where for some reason it comes out in Tesco's but not my Tesco's and not the Tesco's on the other side of the city and not even the one near my boyfriend's, but it comes out in every other one. Anyway, yes, this bat. Oh, it looks a bit different on camera. I've been wanting this for about 2 years now. Again, mentioned in my past videos. I've been doing this a while and I've been complaining for a while clearly. But this one came out in Tesco's and I couldn't get my hands on it because for some reason my Tesco's didn't even get the squad in. But after thinking about it, I've been desperately wanting it because look at this colour and the glitter on the wings and the ears and everything. I wanted this badly. And I couldn't get it. And it sucked. But thanks to the power of Vinted, I got my hands on it. Again, another UK squad. Not many of them were actually on Vinted at all. Luckily, the seller that got this to me, a lot of them also don't have tags as well, which is a problem buying secondhand, but luckily this collector was one that took the tags off but preserved the tags so they were easily able to put back on, which I really appreciate. But yeah, I finally have this one in my collection and I couldn't be happier. Now the colour does stand out because I don't think there's any like other Squishmallows in this sort of colour, which I think is a shame because this is gorgeous. And I do love the bats, but yeah, perfect for Halloween. I'm very excited for Halloween. Very excited. But yeah, another one to my collection. Now going into other ones was Valentine's Day. Now this one wasn't actually in the first, because okay, when I bought them, I bought a couple in my favorites that I really wanted, and then I went back and impulse bought 2 more. This was one of the ones I impulse bought because it was in my likes, and then the seller offered me a lower price, and then they lowered the price just in general to, I can't even remember, it was like £2 or like under £2. So I did buy it. It's a 5-inch. Now unfortunately it doesn't come with a tag, but the tag also doesn't even say Squishmallow. So nowhere it says Squishmallow. And it doesn't even have the thing for the hang tag. So I don't know if this is a fake or not, which is really sad, but it's the only one that they had on Vinted of this one. Again, it was like a US import, which makes sense because it is a US import. It's a Valentine's Day one from a couple years ago and it's been sat in my likes on the Squad app for a while. I'm glad I've got it, but it wasn't until afterwards, and not even straight after I got it. It was like after a couple days where I was a bit confused. But it does say Kelly Toys on it, but it doesn't say Squishmallow anywhere. So if anyone can tell me if this is a fake or not, I don't really mind because it looks the same and that's all I really care about. But yeah, that was a shame. However, to bring it around to positivity, over, I think it was last year's Easter video and then this year's Easter video, I mentioned a chocolate bunny Squishmallow that I thought was so cool and so pretty and I desperately wanted but could never have because it was a US, I don't want to say a US exclusive. It just didn't come out over here. What a surprise. And I complained about it and I mentioned it, and that, however, someone on Vinted decided to buy it, either from their trip to America or online or however they got it. Either way, they had it, they didn't want it, they sold it. I now have it. The chocolate bunny. Again in a 5-inch. I think it's because these came out in like 5 below. Do I know what a 5 below is? No, I've never stepped foot in America. But I know they get a lot of drops. And also the coolest part about this, look at that tag. It has the first to market logo, whatever you want to call it on, which never comes out over here. So it doesn't mean much, but to me, I think it's really cool to have because I'm never gonna get the opportunity to have a Squishmallow with it on. So the fact I've got this one with it on is amazing, but also just the Squishmallow itself. Again, the seller was absolutely lovely. And yeah, this is adorable, and I am so happy because I genuinely never thought I'd get this in my collection, and from what I've seen, this is the only one I've ever seen on Vinted, and I have it. And again, reasonable pricing. And that's not all for my seasonal Squishmallows. Last one we have is Christmas. Now, I do only have 2 from the Christmas ones. However, they're very much worth it. So we're going to start off with... Oops, over here. I really wanted this one. So back in 2023, I want to say? What year are we in now? 2025, yeah. So back in 2023, they came out with a gingerbread cat Squishmallow. 2024 they came out with a gingerbread cow Squishmallow, which I do have in my collection. They also came out with a gingerbread axolotl. Now I thought this was a US exclusive. I'm starting to question that now, or I didn't think it came out over here, but the sheer amount of these ones that end up on Vinted makes me think otherwise, because a lot of them, like UK releases, you never see on there. But this one, as a US, like, if it didn't come out over, how do so many people have it? I don't know, maybe it came out and I missed it? Or just unaware of it? But I don't remember anyone over here saying it, so maybe, I don't know. Either way, I got it. This one did actually take me a while to get, because I had to find one in good condition with the tag, because I do prefer the tag. But yeah, I got my hands on it, and since I bought it, I still see people trying to sell theirs like other people. What I'm trying to say is there is a lot of these, so if you want this one, there's still a ton available, but I don't mind. I think it's so cute. But again, can someone let me know if this did actually come out over Christmas and I just completely missed it? Yeah, it's adorable. Another axolotl to my collection. I think I have like 5 now. 2 Christmas ones, 2 Halloween ones, and a regular one. Yeah, I've got 5 axolotls now. But look, it's just so cute. It is so adorable. But yeah, I think I did mention that one in my Christmas video. Am I done? If I didn't, that's a shame. One that I've definitely mentioned in my Christmas videos and every video since, there was a certain light pink reindeer from Home Bargains that came out over Christmas that I desperately wanted and I could not get. But I now have. So this was not an easy one to get even off Vinted. Yeah, a UK release that I didn't see for months. Again, I started looking at Squishmallows on Vinted back in May. This one I didn't get until beginning of August, I think. Like, again, I ordered all of these ones from mid to late June, and this one, again, I couldn't find until, like, right at the end of July, coming into August. Why was this so difficult to get? Not only in person, but then in Vinted, because then I had to, like, hunt for this. I had like a specific search with settings and everything to find this one. Not only, and then on the rare occasion it did crop up, I would then go into buying bundles. Like, I had to go message sellers with bundles and basically be like, hey, could you send this? Oh, can I buy this one separately? Like, there was one person who had this one with 2 other Christmas Squishmallows that I didn't want. And I was like, hey, is there any possibility I can buy this one separately? And she goes, no. And I was like, fair enough. And then there was like a massive bundle one. And I was like, is there a possibility that I can buy this one separately? Ignored. Wonderful. There was some people selling it for like a $5, no tag, and covered in dirt. And then they offered to lower the price to like £4. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. Anyway, but no one was selling this separately. Or if they were, again, tag ripped, covered in dirt, or pen on it, or something. Or if it was in pristine condition, it was in bundles where the sellers weren't willing to sell them separately. And then whoever sold me this one really saved the day. Perfect condition, perfect tag, finally in my collection. I can rest. But yeah, so this one has been a nightmare to find in person and on Vinted, but I have finally done it and I can finally rest. Now that's it for my seasonal Squishmallows that I bought. Also apologies that if the angle is currently drooping down as I film. As I've mentioned probably for the last year, my ring light is very broken and I forgot to kind of sort it out before I started filming because I thought it would be alright, but it's now actively probably drooping as I'm speaking, so sorry about that. Now we're coming into the last few Squishmallows that aren't seasonal ones, because, you know, there was some that I wanted that weren't seasonal. It was like 2, but still. One of the ones that I really wanted that wasn't seasonal was Babs. Babs has been on my wish list for 3 years now. I first discovered Babs, well, I used to see videos in TikTok compilations back in the late 2021, early 2022 days. Because I've been a Squishmallow hunt. I've been collecting Squishmallows for a while. I first bought a couple when they first released. I didn't think much of it. But back in 22 is when I really started collecting, and I went into B&M when I bought Archie, one of my favourite Squishmallows, and in there they had a Flippermallow with Babs and a parrot, but I don't want the Flippermallow because I just wanted Babs. As Babs is an older one, you can tell by the tag. Yeah, you couldn't buy her separately anymore. So when this one popped up, now I thought she was a difficult one to find because I didn't see any on Vinted, but since I've got this one, she pops up every now and again. But this one in the perfect condition. She's actually an 8-inch, so she is larger than the other ones, but she is also in my collection. She's been one that I've been dying for forever. I don't think I talk about her as much, but yeah, late August of 2022 is when I first saw her and I was first like, oh, I need her in my collection, and here I am in, well, I guess late August, September, finally adding, well, she's been here since like July, but you know, she's now finally in my collection and I could finally get rid of that picture of my camera roll of the Flippermallow. I was like, I need this. So I now have it. So that's pretty cool. Not only that, but at the beginning of the year, okay, no more last year, if you remember, Claire's got in a squad of 3 gummy bears. Now I know the squad actually contains 6. I've been over this before. We only got 3 over here. Here are the 2 that I bought because Claire's had a sale where these were, instead of £16 each, they were £8 each, so I bought both because I couldn't decide. Now I would have loved to get the blue one because I love blue, and if I was going to get the other 2, I could only get the blue one, but they didn't have it at the time. However, Vinted came in clutch and I got the blue gummy bear to add to the 3 that I ordered the other 2, so now I technically have the full set that came out over here at least. If the other 3 did release over here, I'd probably only get the purple one because I don't really like yellow or orange. But then if I didn't get the yellow or an orange one, then I wouldn't have the full set, and at that point I might as well get the full set, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm just happy I got the blue one. Again, this was more of, I bought this off a seller. No, I bought it off someone else first. Didn't hear anything until the day before they were meant to send it out, for their deadline to send it out. Cancelled the order, so I then had to find somewhere on Vinted that someone was selling this. Only the green and pink one. Only the green and pink one, no one selling the blue one. And someone was finally selling the blue one. Now there was someone selling the blue and the pink one together, and I was going to message to have it separately, but then someone was selling the blue one. So I bought just the blue one, and I'm so happy because now I have all 3. I'll put that on there. See? I now have all 3 in my collection. Now I have one more Squishmallow, which isn't for me, it's actually for my friend. So if you saw my last video, I made a dress out of a pair of curtains, which I also bought at Vinted, for my birthday. That did take a while to upload, oops. But I did that with my bestie from college. I think I've mentioned her in many videos. But now I finally get to see her. But we used to talk about all sorts at college. And one thing we used to talk about a lot was Squishmallows, because again, I love Squishmallows, if you couldn't already tell. Now, that's not really her sort of thing, but we were talking about it, and I said, okay, if you could get one Squishmallow, if one came out, what would you get? And she said, oh, if a sun bear. And I was like, what's a sun bear? Talk of the devil, she's literally just messaged me. But yeah, she was like, oh, if they ever come out with sun bear. And I was like, what the heck is a sun bear? I encourage you to Google a picture of a sun bear because they do not look real. It looks like if they're stood up, they look like a person in a bear suit. They're so strange, but they're also very pretty. And she said if they ever come out with a sun bear. At the time, there was no sun bear. When I saw they did come out with a sun bear, I was excited, but I wasn't going to get my hopes that it was going to come out over here. When I last saw her, which I believe was my birthday, it's been so long. Oh my god, I need to plan to see her soon. But I said, hey, I think there might be a sun bear Squishmallow. I know you said this like probably like a year or so ago. No, it would be over a year. I left college over a year ago. Okay, I'm getting old. But I said, hey, if I find one on my travels, would you like it? And she was like, heck yeah. Anyway, I found one on Vinted. So it is a 5-inch, but I think that there's a sequin stuck to my finger. When did that come from? So I got it Vinted. It's only a 5-inch, which is probably good because again, I don't think she probably need a 7-inch or if it came like in a 12-inch or something. But this was also ridiculously cheap. But I think it was like £3. I think I got it for 2 because the seller dropped the price. But it is only a 5-inch. But even though I could wait until Christmas because her birthday's in February, I think I've mentioned that before, and I could wait until Christmas to give it to her, I can't wait that long. So I think I'm gonna give it to her next year. Now I think this was looking at the tag. I believe it's actually from Claire's. I don't remember these being out in Claire's, so I don't know if this is a newer release and I just don't pay attention to Claire's, or this is an old release that I missed, but this isn't the oldest. It's not that old. Either way, I mean, it could also be from America. It doesn't even have the American flag on it. Anyway, but I have got this sun bear for her. There is another Squishmallow that I think she might like as well. There's this one in the mystery capsule. I'm tempted to buy that one for her as well, but let's see if she likes this one first. But yeah, I'm very excited to give this to her. But yeah, those are all the Squishmallows that I have bought since April, since I said, hey, I'm not going to buy a single Squishmallow until September. So that's how that went. You can't see the blue one that I did buy. Yeah, it's quite a lot. I'll count, not right now because I can't be bothered to count right now, but on screen I'll count how many I bought since April, since I said, hey, I'm not gonna buy these until the Halloween ones come out. But yeah, I think I bought all the ones I did off Vinted. Again, I'll go into more of like a deeper dive in the next video where I want to go more of like, is Vinted a good place to buy Squishmallows? Because I do want to go more in depth with some of this. But yeah, I'm very happy because a lot of these, again, if you did watch my Squishmallow wishlist video, I desperately wanted a lot of these and I genuinely thought I was never going to get them, so I'm very, very happy I did. If you want to go look at Squishmallows on Vinted, I highly recommend it if there is a lot that you just, like, again, older releases, cheaper too, US imports they might not like or might otherwise not be able to get. Highly recommend. But yeah, I'll do a full video next video. Again, as I mentioned, Halloween stuff. Well, it's coming. Well, they're all out in America already, whereas over here we're still waiting. Even though I have seen 2 different people sell at least one Squishmallow from the squad that's supposed to come out over here, and it's the one that I want, but I'm not going to buy it from them. I'm going to wait until it comes out because they're pricing it up a little bit. But yeah, I've seen what the squad could be and some other ones that come out here, but again, I'll wait until more of the end of the month to do my thoughts on this year's Squishmallows. I've also seen the Christmas ones and the Valentine's Day ones. I've seen the tags, but I will talk about them closer to the time. But here they all are. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I very much appreciate it. If you haven't all left me thinking I'm never going to come back and do another Squishmallow video, I have posted other videos that you guys could have watched. I haven't gone forever. But yeah. We're about to go into the 25-26 Squishmallow season, so we've got Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter. So I've got a lock-in for that. Not me using the word lock-in. The amount of times I had to edit out in previous videos. Oops. But yeah, my bank account's gonna be crying if I end up buying a ton more Squishmallows. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do have other Squishmallow videos available if you haven't already seen them, and you can't wait until my next few Squishmallow videos. I recommend you go check them out, and also the ones I mentioned or reference in this video, because there's probably a lot. If you don't know what I'm on about, go check them out, and if you do, just go refresh your memory on them. I have a whole playlist on my channel if you can't wait until my next upload, and other videos as well if you're just here for me, which is probably not the case, because I can see the views. You're only here for the Squishmallows. Fair enough. But thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, notification bell on to get notified when I upload. This is probably gonna be a long one because I yap too much. Like, comment something, either your favourite Squishmallow they got here, or just something, anything really. And I'll see you in another video.